in the whole of the south, the population of the built up area, let me move to southeast, is just 15.6%. That is the whole built up. And built up is just building, roads, rail network, and some other structures. It's just 15%. Southwest, southwest is just 11%. South is just 6%. Are you getting me? Then we have a percentage of uninhabited land in the region of 82 to 88%. This includes agricultural areas, forests, wetlands, and so many places. We're talking about 82 to 88. So let's move to forest. Like forest, this is where there's no agriculture. It's a complete forest. So in the southeast, we have 10 to 15%. Everywhere there is forest. South, we have 20 to 25%. In the southwest, we have 15 to 20%. And this one that I'm talking about, the southeast, the 15 to 25% is 2,900 square kilometers to 4,350 square kilometers. I converted it to something that maybe all of us will understand the size, because it's not everyone that knows what square kilometers is. So 2,900 square kilometers is equivalent to 600 690,000 football field. Sorry, it's equivalent to 470,000 football field. Then that of 4,350 is equivalent to um, um, 690,000 football field. For goodness sake, if we can isolate, uh, if we can isolate, if we can have a place where this place we can call it, this is the purpose. It means we can create even a buffer zone where you cannot go near that place. Once they see you there, they know that you're a criminal. It's as simple as that. But people are talking about land that
Chief
you cannot
analyst,
even
chief
feed yourself.
analyst,
You cannot even feed
chief
yourself.
analyst. Can you hear me?
Like you must import. Majority of the food that you import is from outside. What are you doing with the land? Are you making
Chief
money out of the
analyst, can
land?
you hear me?
I
Okay.
can hear you.
Based on this land description you just gave, are you saying these lands just lie fallow and they do not belong to people, and there are no people farming on those lands? Those lands are just there. They are not, absolutely of
But
no commercial
but
value.
I see. I said I gave you the percentage of uninhabited lands. I said 82 to 85%. This include agricultural land, forest, wetland, and etc. Then I went ahead and gave you that of forest. This one we're talking about forest.
Is
You
what
understand?
you include, is it inclusive with the Sabisa forest?
So no, it's even
No,
the
no, no,
south
no,
only, Mazi. But then
You are
that
using the
is,
south
no.
yeah,
only.
It's only the
Why did
south.
you
It's
yeah,
remove the
only the
north?
south.
yeah. Just hold on, Mazi,
No,
hold
no,
on,
no.
please.
Because
Chief analyst, simply because a land is a forest within a zone of the country or within a state, does not mean it does not belong to certain people, and does not mean it's of no use to the people. So it's more like
I
you saying simply because I have a plot of land somewhere and I'm not doing anything on that plot of land, then that plot of land
no, no,
suddenly
no.
is
Great.
vacant.
You are misunderstanding me. According to Land Use Act, every land belongs to the state government, right? And even every 100 years, you must go and renew with the state government. Even if okay, this is my land. That is how it is. So we're talking about a land that you can convert to something and make money out of it and solve insecurity.
I understand
Is
what you're
saying
saying,
okay, this is
but
the forest is our
in
own, and you're
in
not doing anything
in
with it.
in in reality, okay, let me ask you, in reality, how many community in Nigeria have gone back to their state government to renew the ownership of their land after 100 years?
Well, I don't know that figure. I don't know that
Because
figure. But
there's absolutely none.
what I know is
There's
that
absolutely none.
great. What I
The
know is
governors,
that government
the
has the
governors are not even
power.
care.
Uh,
Yeah, they don't even. Yeah, I
great.
can
Can you
hear
hear
you.
me?
Go ahead, please.
What I know is that government has the power to even relocate people. You understand? They can do that. So we are talking about issue of life and death.
Okay, I agree. You
So
see,
what?
so that you can continue, I just want us to get things straight. Because government has
Okay.
power to do some things, does not mean government will do it. That's one. Secondly, it does not mean it's going to come as easy as that. That's true. Also, because a land is assumed by me that it has no ownership does not mean it does not have ownership. So, what people have done in this country called Nigeria, either in the north, in the south, in the west, or in the east of this country, is to lay claim to land ownership through ancestral means. So, we cannot now suddenly fold our eyes and say those are not real issues in this country and now say government can just do this, because that in itself will create another new set of problem that will now become the basis for another further escalation of conflict, and that is called land grabbing. So we have not practiced this, and now trying to practice it just basically based on
Um.
certain thing
Great.
will cause
Great.
another problem. I
Great.
just want
Great.
to point that
Great.
out so that you go ahead with your
Great.
submission.
You should understand me. I am not saying those forests should be given to any Fulani man
No,
or
I'm not even. You
anybody
should know
for
I
that
don't
matter.
do racial thing by now. You've known me long enough on
Okay.
this space to
So
know that I
so
don't
what
do
what
that.
I'm saying
Okay.
is what I'm saying is what I'm saying is you have forest of so size, and you have this problem that it is obvious government cannot solve it because they either lack political will or manpower or what have you. So this is a solution that, okay, this forest, why not? Because the so many communities that we see so many attacks going on is because they are isolated. You get the point. So we now have this place, okay, any we create some kilometer buffer zone. Anything beyond this place, we know that you're a criminal. So it can even be, it will be easier for security personnel, for anyone to know who is who and know who is who. And at the end of the day, if you do the right thing, you're making whole lot of money out of it. Is it not a win-win situation? Or should we rather,
I have a
because
question.
it is obvious these people are stronger than anything, because they've been carrying out their atrocities for how many long, for a very long time, and they cannot be stopped. Are you Would you be fixated on okay, is a private business, this and that? No. Now, whenever is an issue of life and death, you have to do something that is not conventional and do the right thing. That is why I gave you example of even relocating some of these isolated places, form a cluster where they can have adequate security. Everybody wins. What is land, for God's sake? What is if you're claiming
Chief
ancestral land
analyst,
and people go there and sack
I
you?
have a
Who
question.
lose?
I
chief
have a
analyst, can I
Yeah,
ask you
please
Who
a
lose?
hold on.
question,
Please
too?
hold on. Let him land so that you ask your question, please.
Who?
Just finish up, chief analyst.
Please, please. I'm done.
Sorry,
I'm
Okay,
done.
thank.
sorry,
Okay, Maxi, go ahead.
Great, before you go, great, I want to ask you, great. All this analysis that we are doing, is it for land in southern Nigeria, or inclusive both the north and the south? Is it the land we're analyzing? Let me understand where
No,
we are
no,
going.
no. Mazi, is I only analyze the southern Nigeria because looking at this space, majority of people that are speaking are from the southern
But the
Nigeria,
problem,
and
affect both the
let
southern
me.
and the
I'm
northern.
I'm
Yeah.
coming. I'm
Okay.
coming,
Okay.
Mazi. The the This thing that I just proposed, I know that it's not going to be a problem in the north because so many states are already doing that. You understand? And if I give you the percentage, just like you see, I gave the percentage of build up areas, I gave in the southeast, which is the highest, 15.6. In the northwest is 0.1. 0.1. So it means there are a whole lot of land that can do whatever you want to do.
Chief,
So that is why I just concentrated on the south. So it's not that. Yeah. Thank
can
you.
you point
Okay,
us to the
okay,
material that gave him
great.
this
You can go
bit?
ahead. Great. Yeah, great. Go ahead.
Mazi, please, can you ask him to point to the material that gave him this bit of
Great.
area, please?
Yeah, great. Go ahead.
Material. I'm not pointing to any material. If you want to do it, ask Grok. Ask Grok. The Grok will do everything for you.
Okay, Mazi, who is the next speaker, please?
I think some people say that they have a question for
Yeah,
him.
he
Simple, you
has
said you
asked
have
the
a question for
question.
him.
No, I have
No,
not
I
asked
have
my
a question.
Okay.
I
question.
have a question for him.
My question
Okay,
is
please
this.
go ahead. Let's sync. Be the first person that Hilary can, if the two of you can ask the question at the same time, so
Okay,
that he can just
okay,
answer it at a go, so that
okay.
other speakers can speak.
My,
Thank you.
my question is this. This problem we are facing, as far as I'm concerned, is not even an issue of land. My question is, these people who are holding guns and are killing people, what is the guarantee that they are not going to continue to fight and kill people if they are put in a place to do their business? Because a criminal is a criminal. No matter what you give them, they always want more. The moment you give them land, next thing they will ask for your house, then they will ask for your wife, then they will ask for your children. I don't think, well, that's my question. Is there any guarantee that they will stop doing what they are doing if they are given a place to do their business? Because I don't see them as businessmen, I see them as criminals who should actually be dealt with by the government. That's the way I see them. Thank you.
Okay, Chief Analyst, my
Okay.
question is,
Oh, let me answer that question before you ask your own. So as I said earlier on, I am not proposing you giving land to anybody. All I'm saying is government should come in and convert some forest that is not being put into use to either ranching or whatever you want to call it. Then talking about, okay, the criminals that even if they're operating inside that place, they can still come out. And that is why I gave a solution that you can create a buffer zone. This place, we know that anyone outside this place, you know that he's a criminal. So, and nobody will, you can even start bombing them. No one will tell you anything. I'm talking about from the sky. But these ones where we have so many isolated places and so many forests around, so it is very, very difficult when you don't have enough manpower to to kind of secure those places. So that is why I gave that this thing. And it's not that once you do it, all the problems will be solved. No, it's still a process. You will continue to improve and improve on it. Thank you very much.
Mazi,
all
please, I
right,
have a
thank you,
question
Chief
for
Analyst. No,
Mazi.
Chief Analyst, I want to ask this. My question is this. In the course of the future, when another set of people, because you kept using the word people are dying, but first I need to correct that impression. People are not dying, people are being killed. So it's not like there's a pandemic killing people. Some criminals are killing them. My question is this, in the case of the future that a set of other group of people come out with a gun and start killing people, will you also ask that the federal government should come and do some things in order for people to stop dying? Will you also ask the federal government to come out and, attend to their needs because they have a gun and then they can massacre people?
I am not interested in answering your question. Next
Mazi,
person.
please, I have a question, please, Chief Analyst. So, you propounded a solution that they should grab some land, some forest reserve in the south, and to placate the herdsmen from killing people. And we've seen the issue in Mali. They gave them a space for them to have in Mali, and even after giving them that space, they try to move outward, and they still causing problem. In Central African Republic, when they started problem in 2011, they gave them a larger span of land for them to move, and even till now, they are still trying to move. They are trying to move westward, trying to move outward. In Plateau, they have the same thing, but still they are still causing the same issue. In Southern Kaduna, they have the same issue, and they are still having the same. Those people are still having the same problem. It has never solved it. So, what is your guarantee that grabbing land, so grabbing some forest reserve by the government, seizing it and adding it over to them, will cause that issue when we see that it has not solved the problem in Mali, it has not solved it in Central African Republic, in Plateau, in Southern Kaduna? What's the guarantee that it's going to solve the problem now?
Wait,
Since the
why
people
are
are
we
actually
intentionally doing this thing? Maybe when I
Omo Naija,
explained, we all
Omo Naija,
did
the question is
as
not
if
for
no,
you. Omo
wait,
Naija,
wait,
off your
wait,
mic. Omo
wait.
Naija,
When
it's
I
not for you.
explained, we all did as if we understood that this land will not be given directly to them. So why are we using it as the premise for
The
all our
question is not for you,
questions?
Omo
It
Naija.
is, it
Your
is,
place was loud.
it is disingenuous. It is
We
disingenuous.
don't hear you.
We
Thank
have
you. It
agreed
is not.
that this land is not being given to them directly, but you are continuing to paint that narrative. Why?
Which
Why?
what do you think is in NLTP? What do you think?
Why are you continuing to paint
What do
that
you think
narrative?
is in NLTP? You talk as if you
Why?
are talking to people that
Who
are
is
dumb
being
here.
given the land in NLTP?
We know.
Who is being given the land? Who will
Do
be
you know
given
what?
the
Do
land to
you
administer?
the whole thing you spoke about the NLTP was just plain trash, but there was no
Was
time to
plain
even
trash.
counter
Bring
yours
the
because
document and counter me
you
now. I'm
guy
speaking based on the document.
you read the
Counter me
document,
based on the
but you read it
document.
upside down. That's the thing. The whole thing you said about the
Counter me
document
based on the document.
was utter gibberish. It was
Counter me
nonsense.
based on the
The
document.
whole thing you said about
Oh
that
yeah,
document
tell
was
me what is
nonsense.
the correct one.
Oga, off your mic
Oh
and
yeah,
let me
tell
talk
us
to
the
the person I'm
correct
talking
one
to.
now. Since I am
Guy,
saying
please
the
off your mic.
nonsense, tell us the
Off your
correct
mic,
one.
please. You are just there shouting. You've not said anything. You've made your submission. You were just
Tell
making noise
us the
and you just
correct
Omo
one.
Naija, hold
Since
on.
please
what I
off
Omo
your
said
mic,
Naija,
I
was
hold
beg.
the
on.
upside down of the
Omo
document.
Omo
Naija,
Naija,
hold
please
See,
off
on.
your
people
mic,
now,
please. I'm
let's
asking
be
a
fact
question.
based.
I
Let's be
am asking
fact
a question
based.
to chief analyst, not to you, please.
Please,
You are why you
I don't want
interrupting.
to mute anybody. If you, the two of you can just hold on. Adam, you cannot make it an assertion and not back it up with facts. So point to me in the NLTP write up the entire thing around 49 pages. I can.
Larry, please do not twist what I'm saying. I'm asking a
I'm
question.
not twisting. You said
See,
the
do you
land
have
will
a
be
narrative you
given
want to
to
push?
people.
Larry, if you have a narrative you want to push, let me know. Then I'm going to leave this space. I'm
Okay, if
asking a
you want
question
to
to
leave
chief
the
analyst.
space, you can leave the space. I don't throw
I'm
people out
asking a
of the
question to chief
space.
analyst based on what he asked me. I'm asking him a question based on what he asked me. I said, chief analyst made a submission. I'm asking him a question. You are
Mr.
trying to.
Adam, Mr.
Please let me
Adam,
ask.
Mr. Adam, maturity is when people can have decent communication without screaming at each other or being condescending at one another. So, Chief Analyst himself was engaged when I personally think what he was saying, I do not agree with it, and simply asked the question so that he can give a further clarification to that. So for you saying somebody is driving a narrative, that means you are already somebody who came with a narrative. You cannot quote a document and not be able to cite that document precisely.
I did not quote NLTP here,
Mr.
Mr.
Adam,
Larry.
Mr. Adam,
It was
if
Oman
you,
Niger that quotes. Oh
Mr.
God.
Adam, Mr. Adam, see, um,
Larry, why are you misunderstanding what I'm saying?
I've taken the part of peace a very long time ago. This that you want to do with me, it really doesn't
I
make
did
it.
not,
So,
Larry, chill. I did not quote
can we
NLTP.
move on, please? Chief
I was
Analyst, do
asking
you
a,
want to answer the question, or you want to? Chief Analyst, are you there?
No. I don't want to answer his
Okay,
I,
question.
okay, no problem.
Great. Can I ask a
So,
question?
okay, Mo, go ahead.
Yeah, chief analyst. Basically, I want to ask this question, and sincerely, I want to know these Fulani people. I don't want to call them, the herdsmen. Are they indigenous to any state? And if they are, is there land for ranching in their own particular states of origin? Ju- That's just a question.
Who is asking the question?
Yeah, it's more exactly.
That's Mo actually the question.
Okay. So you see the my submission. There are so many
Did you
things
get the
that I
question?
didn't break down because this whole issue is not one issue. I think Omo Niger did justice in breaking down some of them. Understand? I'm talking about some people who are they are just criminal. They are just criminal. That is what they do. So they are not herders or something which they are spread around Nigeria everywhere you
Hello.
go. That is what they do. So talking about the Fulani main Fulani people, of course, they are spread around, especially northwest, east, and some part of north central. But some of them they have been in the south for a very long time. You understand? So some of them, that is the only place they know. They don't even know northern Nigeria or something. You get the point. So the solution I am proposing, it doesn't have to be okay. They are from this region. That no, 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 no. We all understand the issue of climate change. We all understand it. It's not that okay. These things, they can stay in one place, or of course they can stay in one place if there are adequate provision. But we're talking about ranching that government needs to invest a lot of money and even technology. Talking about a government that we don't even can't provide electricity. You get the point. So this
Chief
solution
analyst,
is not that
do you know why
okay.
I asked the question? Do you know why I asked the question? The
No, no, no.
question, the reason why I asked the question is now it is looking like the people of the south are saying no to their land, irrespective of the guys, whether it's ranching, whether it's open grazing. They're saying no, we don't want to give. At least that is more like a consensus that we're hearing from people that we don't want these people. So if the government can say, listen, if you don't want these people, then we can take them to where they're indigenous to and build these ranches. Even if you want to invest the money, it is going to be where these people are welcome, where they're indigenous to. And if anybody wants to buy cattle, just go over there and do the business. I think that would be a better solution than we say that people should give up their land, you
But
have to convert
but
forests
more
and stuff
but
like that.
more if if that is the consensus, maybe the southern governors should come together and send back all the Fulani people, all of them back to north. They should they can do it. They have the power to do it. Then if they do that, not on social media, some people that they don't even know what they're saying, speaking. The governors or the National Assembly from the south, they should come together and say, look, we don't want these people in our land. We don't want them at all. They should leave our forests. They
Hello.
should leave our cities. Maybe that will solve the problem. Thank you.
Mo, are you done?
Well, since he says it has to be the governors that have to come out and
I,
not
I, I,
what the people want,
I understand
I
your point, Mo.
don't know what else to respond.
I understand your point.
Hello,
Okay,
Mr.
I
Martin.
just don't
Mr.
want a
Martin,
fight
how are
over.
you?
We can do this with
Hello.
much understanding and come to better conclusion. So I
Larry, can I
think
give my submission? My
okay,
hands are still
OJ,
up. Sorry.
okay. Let me just draw the
Hello.
line because I might be out in the next couple of minutes. OJ, you go. Jerry, Ibrahim, you just came
How
up.
much?
It's going to come to you. Just hold on,
Yeah.
Ibrahim. Hold on.
Sometimes market used to
Now so
stop.
now, even
Oh,
we for chop, now so it dey be now. Now
okay.
today I can't see somebody
Hey.
in the morning.
Ibrahim,
Uh-huh.
Ibrahim, your speaker is open. I don't know
I want
if you
to.
know.
Hello. Yes, I know.
Oh,
How
okay.
far?
Yeah, okay. Just hold on. Just hold on. We're going to get to you very soon. Just mute your mic, please.
Okay.
Yeah, we get to you. Just listen to me the way I'm calling the line. Mazi, if you can hear me, so that in case I'm silent for some minutes, you'll be able to take it up. OJ, Jerry, then Mary, did you come before Ibrahim or after Ibrahim? I'm not so sure.
No, I'm not sure as well, but I will be patient. I do have a lot to say, but I do welcome anyone to speak before me.
Okay,
Thank
okay,
you.
no problem, brother. So let's just do it this way. OJ, Jerry, Adam, you've not made a submission. I know you only asked a question. You come after Jerry, then Ibrahim, then Mary, because Mary said he's patient enough. But when you're speaking, consider the other people, because if you take too much time, you can wear other people out. So OJ, please go for it, please.
Yes, thank you, Ebon. So let's have this understanding that we all want a permanent solution to this problem. And I've listened to most people, right? And from what I can understand from what they are saying is that they don't want to create a new problem while trying to solve a particular problem. And I listened to chief analyst when he gave that analysis. I was not even aware that it's only 15% of the landmarks of Southeast that is being put in use. That's over 80% is empty. Some are forests, right, where you have grasses in their numbers. With this percentage, we still have clashes in this 15% that is being put to use. Let's assume that these herders, right, that they've been able to feed their cows in the forest without this issue. Nobody will know, and nobody will care. If only 15%, 6% is being put to use in terms of farming and other activities, and yet we are still having these clashes, it is obvious that the problem is not grazing land. And this is me being honest. And I am 100% sure that grazing reserve or ranches will not solve this problem. It will not. If out of 100%, 15% is being put to use and 50% is forests, and yet it's not enough for this grazing, ranching will not solve this problem. We have a banditry issue. What people like I'm from Oyo State, and honestly, I don't even want to hear that ruga. And my point is simple. It is because I am scared of what might happen. I don't want to have a new crisis, right, in my hometown while trying to solve a particular problem. This is my own fear. Am I saying people should not come to Oyo State? Of course, no. I grew up in the north. So why will I stop either Igbo or a person from Kano not to come to Oyo, right? But the fear, we've seen what is happening in Plateau now. We've seen what is happening in Benue. We For me, I am scared because I don't know what the outcome might be, and I don't want to create a problem while trying to solve an existing problem. So I don't because as somebody asked someone Niger that when this new thing he read or he have explained, was being announced, some group came out and they said they don't want ranches. On someone's space yesterday, those we heard that spoke, they made it clear, including the host, that they will not live their normal lifestyle for ranching. So clearly, ranching will not work. And that was why when it was proposed up till today, I doubt if any of the states from the pilot state have been able to do anything serious about it. Because it is obvious that those that is being intended to have come out to say they are not interested. So I am being frank with you that the reason why you see this response is not for any reason. It is simply because they are scared and they don't want to create a new problem while trying to solve an old problem, which I strongly have that view that ranching, even Ruga, will not solve the problem. Because if out of 100%, if 80% is on use, and yet the 15%, the 5% is still having clashes, I don't see the possibility of ranching or even Ruga solving that problem. Government should deal with these criminals, and if they know that they cannot, let them allow states.
OJ, can I correct something
Yes,
quickly?
go ahead, Chief.
The 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 what do you call it? The 15% is for the built up areas. Agricultural areas falls within the uninhabited areas. So it is forest that is 16 to 21%. So other percentage, some places, majority of places that are uninhabited are agricultural land. So just to put that there. Thank
Yes,
you.
so even if it is 10% of the forest that is out of use, it should be enough to ensure that we don't have these issues. That is, if you are traveling around region, you will see forests in long kilometers. So why are we still having this issue? So it's unfortunate that we have government over time that choose to look away, or they choose not to do enough. And I don't know why up till now we can't still have state police to deal with this matter. And I've heard people mention only Benue and Plateau. It is not true. Zamfara, Katsina have had worse scenario than what we've witnessed in Benue and Plateau. It's because media, have choose to sectionalize where they publish or talk about over time. Places like Zamfara, places like Katsina have had terrible experience, it's over time. So it all lies on the government to deal with this element. And if anyone genuinely, need a space for ranching, let them approach the state where they reside, not necessarily, their state of origin. If you reside in Oyo, approach Oyo state government as an individual and apply for land. There's nothing bad in that. We are all Nigerians. What I'm against and what I will not support is which, from what we've read from that document, it's not pointing to that state government or federal government should, asking state to give land. The document have clearly said that it will be the state that will control these ranches, which I support, because we must support them in order to aid production. But I doubt if it is going to solve the problem. If government do not put their feet on the ground to deal with this evil, I fear for what will happen soon, because people are getting tired. Thank you.
Thank you, OJ. Jerry, please go ahead. Jerry, are you there? Yeah,
Yeah,
unmute
I
and go
mean,
ahead, please. Yeah, go
sorry. I
ahead.
was trying to unmute my mic. Um, thank you, Mazi and co-host and everyone in this space. Um, my take on this matter is that there are several solutions to this problem. Omo Nigeria said that they should allow them have their way. That's a probable solution. And there's technology. Um, all the headsmen can be registered, and their movement can be tracked. They can give them a particular grazing route, vertical grazing routes that they will follow. I've actually seen uh, herdsmen. I was going from Kaduna to there's this town in Kaduna State called Saminaka. I went by road. I saw herdsmen. That was the first time I was actually seeing herdsmen moving in a stretch of like 5 kilometers. They were dense. They were with cattle, sheep, goats, and everything. Like I've never seen people moving livestock in that volume. So what am I saying is that they should be tracked. They should be tracked and they should be monitored. That's a probable solution. Another solution is that I really don't know the number of the number of cattle that they meet that they produce to meet the demand um, of meat supply in Nigeria. The major solution is that why don't the government make uh, cattle rearing a private business, take it from their hands, encourage individuals to go into ranching. If they produce so much meat that will meet the demands of the country by natural reasoning, by normal reasoning, their demands will fall and they'll gently move out of the Nigeria, migrate to somewhere else where the demand for their product, for their cattle will be high. So it's very easy. Government should not provide ranch for them. Rather, government should invest in uh, in cattle rearing. Make individuals produce cattle, like produce cattle in very large commercial quantity. And my third point is that um, Mazi is always against people defending themselves. Naturally, let me say, I mean, I go to a place, I go to a, a town or a village or a country where I am like a stranger. Number one, I want to defend myself against aggression. Somebody might just hit you and come and hit you. First of all, what will I do? I'll put locks. I'll put locks on my door so I cannot just easily walk in. Depending on the hostility, I'll get a knife or a baseball bat so that if you can manage to break in, I can use that bat to defend myself before the police will come in. So what am I trying to say in essence is that when you have one, two, three, four, five people living in a place clustered together with one ideology and the rest, there's always a means of defense that is outside the state defense. That's outside the state defense. In communities, forget the fact. Let's leave the fact that there's police and all that. There's police, there's security and everything. If you're in a community, you always expect intercommunal clashes, no matter how peaceful you live with your neighboring communities. You do not depend on the state security system to defend you. You create an emergency defense system to defend yourself against such aggression before the state will come in. Um, it is very sad when I hear that herdsmen will invade the community and they will wipe out people, and they will still come into the same community. They will wipe out people. It is very sad. You need to provide. I don't say you should carry guns or anything. I don't say you should do anything illegal. But you should always look for means to defend yourself against external aggression, which is outside the political, the state security apparatus. I don't want to complain about how the state security is for Nigeria's police system and security system is for the elites. I don't want to talk about that. But even if it is not, you are always expected to defend yourself. So if you have, for instance, let me say you are living in a town and you see strange people walking around, people that are faces that you are not used to. The natural thing is that you have some kind of suspicion, and you say the next thing you tell yourself that are they coming to attack me? The next thing is, how will I defend myself before I call the police? Even if you call the police, even if you call the security whatever security that is state provides, you should think of way to defend yourself. So depending for communities providing security for themselves, means of defending themselves is not wrong. It's not wrong. Naturally, everywhere it's not wrong. That's why America has the Fifth Amendment. Everyone here in America, they carry guns around like it's normal thing because you are expected to defend yourself before you even call the police. So thank you very much, everyone, for giving me the opportunity to speak.
Okay, great. Okay, great as bros. Wow. So let's
Hello.
have Ibrahim. Ibrahim, go ahead. Yeah.
Hello. Good evening, Mr. Mazi and others. Good evening. Hello. Good evening.
Yeah, yeah, good evening. We can hear you.
Thank you for giving me opportunity to talk on this platform on the issue on when Nigeria will say the truth about planning issues. Am I right? Hello. Maybe it's
Please go
silent.
ahead, sir.
Hello. Am I right? I say when Nigeria will say the truth about planning.
Yes, head us.
Headers, yes, in Aflani they call headers. So I am talking from Sokoto right now, Sokoto State. Hello.
We can hear you. Go ahead. Just continue speaking. We can
Eh, You know, Fulani, as you said, originally they are from northern parts, and they migrated. Some of them they migrate from northern part to southern part, and there are so many Fulani who are not Nigerians. They come all the way from Chadi, Cameroonian, some from Mali, some from Niger, some from Angola. All of them they come don't match to Nigeria. So before you separate who are Fulani from Nigeria, who are from Cameroon, who are from Chad, that thing must be done. So because you can't say all Fulani are Nigerians, especially those who settle in the southern parts, because so many Fulani in the northern part, they don't go to southern part. They stay and remain in their what do you call environment. Like here in Sokoto, I know most of our Fulani they don't go to southern part. Only few, and they are the one that are bringing issues to us now. Even the day before yesterday, some Fulani storm in my community where I did. They even kill one small guy. They even us here they attack us. They used to come and attacking us, chasing us and maltreating us like that. And the governments are putting eyes on them. So the issue of Fulani is not only in the southern part; it is also in the northern part nowadays. As you all of you know that they are in Katsina, Zamfara, and some part of Sokoto now. So what I want to say finally or in the end, that let the governments say or do the needful things. As you know, Fulani have been mentioned as pastoralists. They don't stay in one place. They used to move from one place to another. So that is why even in the Nigerian educational system, they're programming one education system. They call it nomadic education, where they used to do mobile classes for them, as so that the Fulani may access to education. They know themselves, they know who they are, so that they can respect others' community, like Hausas, Yorubas, and others. So the things gaskiya now is very worst. I can't say, or I can't say people can say the truth about the Fulani, because nobody can say the truth about Fulani now. Thank you for having me.
So is Ibrahim done?
Yes, I'm done. Thank you. But if you have a question to me, I can ask. I can answer it.
Mazi, I'm
Okay,
next.
okay. Help us unmute your mic, sir.
Okay, we have you. Wait.
Okay, let me help you. So what asking us question?
Oh, thank you. So, like, what I'm going to say is, if you look at the issue of you need to look at this thing introspectively and before you even provide a solution. If you look at from 2011, if you look at the issue of Mali have had issue with terrorism that comes from mostly, like, the thing that they have with terrorism, but mostly they are able to recruit mostly some headers into those terrorist group in Mali, for instance, and that's mostly because of, most times, if you look at the issue of climate change, most of them have lost their businesses, and there was like one disease in Mali at that period in time that killed most of their cows. So most of them, they have to like look for other economic means, and if you look at in Mali, they have a large number of maybe herders that are in the terrorist group that's causing problem in Mali. Central African Republic, they have almost the same issue. You have the same issue in Burkina Faso. You have the same issue in almost all the Sahels. You have the issue in Chad. You have the issue in Niger. Those issues are rampant and are everywhere. Like they are a problem in the Sahel. The fact that Niger is border is porous now at this moment is why we are having this issue in Nigeria as well. So most of the herders that you have, most times the herders that you have that are killing people, it has a terrorist front from it, because most of them are moving from Mali, from Mali, Burkina Faso. Those guys, if you go and read all those things I'm talking about, they've caused problem in those places. There was even one time that those terrorist group, those Edas terrorist group in Mali, they even overpowered the government. That the government has to go and look for how to form a vigilante group called Dongo in Mali for them to fight back against those terrorist group. And at some point, they were not even able to do it. They had to get the help of France for them to even neutralize these guys. So the thing is, our border is porous and open. So most of these guys, normally the Fulani guys, they are Fulani people that are very, elders are very peaceful. We have them. But there are some terrorist elements that are migrating from the Sahel down to Nigeria, and even down to the south, that are moving there. The fact that someone is saying that you should give them a land and give it to them, you are giving them a base for them to even launch an attack, because the government in Mali has done this thing before. They gave them a base after they started causing a serious problem and terrorism, and they overpowered the government. The government thought, okay, maybe when we give them a space for them to maybe have their own space for them to handle themselves, then maybe this thing will reduce. It never reduced. They still try to expand westward. If as a government you are negotiating with people from the position of weakness, you are saying, okay, because these guys have overpowered us, then we need to chime into their demand, they will still be baying for more. So Mali did this thing, it did not work. Burkina Faso did the same thing, whereby they allocated some plot of land for them to, like, okay, because of the issue they were having with climate change and the issue they were having with that disease that was killing most of their cattle. So the government tried to work out something for them. The same thing did not work. They tried to expand westward. So a lot of times, there are some terrorism elements in these things, and you cannot say that most of the elders that are currently causing problem in the south right now, or maybe in some part of the north, are Nigerians. There are some Nigerian Fulani. Those ones they may be peaceful. They may be peaceful, but they may share the same. But there are some that have the terrorism element that comes from other part of or other West Africa. That's what I'm saying. They come from other part of West Africa, and our borders in Niger and Chad are very porous. Arms proliferation from Libya down to Nigeria is very porous now, because Niger and Chad are not helping us at the moment. They have a failed government. Even Mali, they have a failed government. So if arms coming from Libya straight to Nigeria, it's very easy for them. So like it won't be an issue. And the fact that you have these guys coming from other parts of Africa who are not even Nigerians and are killing people, and you are saying that we need to settle them and give them, it can't work that way. It can't work that way because it has been tried and tested in in other countries, in Mali, in Burkina Faso. It did not work. What makes you think it's going to work here in Nigeria? And someone says he's a pastoralist and he's with AK-47. Have you heard of that before? A pastoralist say he has an AK-47. So I'm saying that there are some terrorism elements. If you go and look at it, this is very easy to understand. Is it currently now, even we are not the only one facing this problem. Other African countries, Central African Republic, they are facing this problem. Ghana is able to face that problem because they have a low population of those areas that terrorists can recruit, but they have a high number. If you look at those terrorist groups in Mali, all those called Central African Republic, Niger, Chad, and all those Sahel area, they are real terrorists that are fighting against government. So most of them have been proliferated even into Nigeria because our border is free and open, and because we can't even do anything about it. So most of them are here, and that's what they are doing. So you can't say that okay, this is not an issue about Fulani or anything. This is issue of terrorism that we are seeing at the moment, and giving terrorists a space to say okay, for them to they are Fulani people are largely like this. Ibrahim said the real Fulani from Nigeria. They're actually very peaceful people. Most of them are actually maybe based in their own area. They rarely move out. We acknowledge the issue of the climate change that's affecting most of them, but they rarely move out and say they want to carry AK-47 and begin to shoot people. But the elements among them that carry AK-47, they mostly come from the Sahel, and there is a terrorism issue. So there's no way you can placate them. You cannot placate them by carrying your forest and giving it to them. They will still try to expand westward out of your forest and try to move to other species. So that's what's going. That's the issue that is happening. And the problem is that by the time until we can solve the Niger issue and the Chad issue and that those poor border in that area, it's still going to continue. They're still going to be moving again because their terrorism frontier in Mali and all those other countries is not profitable anymore because the resources there are almost down. So they need to come to a place that has more greens, that has more system whereby they can easily flourish. So that's why they have more interest in Nigeria at the moment. So most of those guys, this has nothing to do with Fulani. That's more issue about terrorism that are saying from the Sahel that is infiltrating Nigeria. And you cannot say you want to okay, you want to placate Boko Haram, you want to give them a. You can't do that. It can't work. So that's the problem we're having currently at the moment. And some people are saying doing Ruga again. So it can't solve that problem. There are some issues that okay, Ruga can solve in this. Okay, we need the issue of we need to have maybe Ruga and stuff. You can build a pasture for some people in the north. The north is a very large expanse of area. Fight the issue of climate change in the north. Build a clinic for them. What do you call it? Build a resort for them where they can feed their animals. Those ones are very peaceful people. You can resolve those ones, their problem that way by building ranches and all those things for them in the north. It's very big. They have a very large expanse of land that is not built up. Build ranches for them, let them be eating their feeding their cows there. But there are some terrorist elements that you cannot placate by doing that by building that ruga for them. This is beyond the issue of a ruga or anything. Go and read about it. I can even send some of the link to the group to the stuff. There are some terrorist elements from like currently in Mali that are trying to expand westward. They've done big arms in Mali. That's the thing. Go and look at Burkina Faso that people are shouting about now. Burkina Faso government is even having issue dealing with some of those terrorists. And most of these terrorists largely recruit elders. So even Burkina Faso is having issue of dealing with terrorists now. That this guy that they always post about him online, he can't face them. Central African Republic is having these issues. Ghana is having the same issues. So we are not the only one having these issues, and we are the only one providing very stupid solutions. Yes, we need to build all those things. We need to, but on the terrorist front, you can't solve that problem by saying you want to grab people's forest and give it to people that carry AK-47. By the time you build this for them, you are building a camp for them. By the time they build that camp, they will start launching attack from that camp that you gave to them from that forest. And what will you do? Will you give them more land again? Or you hand over the entire state to apparatus to them so they will start killing people? So that's what I'm saying. There are terrorist elements that you cannot solve by saying you want to steal people's land and give to them. So I don't understand why the other guy was interrupting me the other time and trying to make an issue out of what I'm saying. Thank you, Mazi.
Okay, thank you. So let's have Mary. Mary, please go ahead and speak. You're there. You can hear me.
Yes, hello. Hello.
Yeah, 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 go ahead. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Thank you for having me. This is the first time that I've come to debate. Uh, as an American born Nigerian, I I've been doing research and
Can you speak up?
looking
We
back.
can't hear you. Can you be audible? Can you be audible?
Hold on.
Hello, are you there?
Now,
Oh,
do
this
you hear
guy
me
is not
better
here.
now?
Let's allow metaphor. Metaphor, are you there?
Okay, I'm here. Thank you. Mazi,
Yeah,
thanks for the
bro, go
mic
ahead.
again. I was just at work the other time. I really couldn't talk much. But let me use the opportunity to say what I wanted to say. Um, we are presenting a project that I think everybody should support. A project that we are currently discussing with certain members of the Nigerian National Assembly. We don't just want to be talking on spaces and all that. We want to try to impact what we can to force the Nigerian government to thank you, darling. Sorry, my wife is just saying something to me here. We want to see what we can do to help the situation. I think Nigerians should try to do something about it. Just do something beyond just talking. Yeah, and we are preparing a project to present to the Nigerian National Assembly that may facilitate a private bill, to the House, both the House of Representatives and the Senate to discuss it. There are two vital aspects of this project: to restructure the current Nigeria, or to basically evolve Nigeria from a country into a union of sovereign countries. Okay. Um, with regards to the current structure of Nigeria, we'll also even discuss security and made some proposals with regards to security, what can be done to ease in, if not completely annihilate this insecurity. We think that Nigeria should have three layers of security. That is the national police, the state police, and the local government police. Okay, the state police will one of the duties of the state police will be to man protect the territory of each state. In that security proposal, we also outlined what we think should be done with regards to, for instance, traveling back to back between each state, what the state police can do, especially with regards to the headers. I don't like to say Fulani, because I'm not one of those people that label any particular tribe in Nigeria as something. Because of the information that we have, we know that these criminals, running through the forest, maybe disguising, as headers, taking advantage of that very weak place that Nigeria is. When I mean place, that very weak security problem that we have, infiltrate themselves as headers and go into our forests and towns and start killing people and committing crimes there. So I'm not going to mention Fulani really. I'm just going to say those criminals that are pretending to be headers are going in and out. The way that the Nigerian state police can address it. For instance, in our proposal, we are looking that every single header in Nigeria is registered headers. So when these headers travel back to back between states, they will meet the state police at every state border, and they will be checked to see whether they're actually registered Nigeria headers. Okay, so the registration process will take their data, take their IDs, and all that whatnot. So every header in Nigeria is registered and is known by the federal government. So wherever they travel, even they are traveling from the north all the way down to be in charge of policing the local governments and all the towns and villages around that local government. And that would be their duty. So, and look, let me just say this. Firstly, I think some of the arguments I heard earlier on, are not practicable in Nigeria because Section 41 provides for every Nigerian's right. Section 41 of the Nigerian Constitution provides right for every Nigerian right to freedom of movement. Okay, so with that, we cannot say that grazing routes or any Nigerians that are headers cannot move from north to south, east to west. They have the right as a Nigerian to move from one place to the other. However, Section 43 controls that. Yeah, so Section 43 of the Nigerian Constitution, please go and read it. Don't take my word for it. Basically controls that. So why Section 44 also guarantees everybody's your right to own movable and immovable property. Section 43 basically controls that no one's right should supersede another one's right. No one can use their right to encroach, or subdue, another one's right. So ultimately, it really has to be controlled by laws, proper regulation, so that one's right will not overshadow or subjugate or subdue another person's right. Yeah. And the easiest way for this to be done is proper layers of security. For instance, just think about this for a minute. When the Fulani, let's say all the Nigerian Fulani, I beg your pardon, all the Nigerian headers are registered. So if they travel from one state to the other, on arriving each state, they meet the state police at the borders and they check that these are Nigerian registered headers. And so the state police take them through the grazing route, ensuring that they maintain that grazing route part, in their pastoral thing that they do. They don't encroach on the farmland of the people. And then Nigeria can also, state can also implement laws that will, for instance, in America, they have what they call defense laws. And just to let you know, Europe and America actually legalize grazing. Grazing is legal in Europe. Grazing is legal in some states in America, especially the Western states. It is legal, and they have laws to control these things. Yeah, for instance, they have fence laws. Nigerian states can adopt that too. So we create fence laws where property owners, as landowners in Nigeria, will be given part to fence their farms, fence their land and all that, so that those grazing parts are clearly manned, and those farmers and their cattle don't encroach in the lands of other people. So all of these things just need proper regulations, proper laws set, proper policing. That Nigeria really don't have proper policing, and that is just the honest truth. We have just a center police, that mans the entire country. That is really old system, really. We need to have 3 layers of police. Like I said, national police. I don't like to say federal police. Just a national police, state police, and local government police. Problem solved. Yeah, all of these police layers will protect Nigeria at those different levels. Okay, so we are trying to push this proposal and stir up a bill in the Nigerian National Assembly that will move to amend the constitution to create state police and local government police. Yeah, we already had the national police. The national police, in my opinion, should not really interfere with matters of the state. State police should be created by the Nigerian Constitution, and local government should be created so that these levels of policing would provide, adequate and more thorough, security within the states. So this is what I think is needed. And you see, in that proposal that we are making, if Nigeria government would not move to restructure Nigeria in those other developments, I think that the Nigerian government might as well just evolve Nigeria from a country into a union of sovereign countries, so that all these sovereign ethnics, can create their own system of government, system of security, system of economy, and all that whatnot. Because where we are now, we are going to continue to have all of these problems if this proper restructuring does not occur. Okay, thank you guys. That's all I wanted to say there.
Okay, thank you. It's great speaking. I can hear great. Okay, Miri, are you back? Miri,
Yes,
are you
sir.
back?
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I would like to first start and say that I am American-born Nigerian. As a person who lives in the United States, we American-born Nigerians tend to hear a lot about the various conflicts, the various disputes that go on in our homeland. Uh, since the last time that I visited Nigeria was during SARS, the SARS protests, and despite the government suppression, despite the the opposition from the powers that be, that did ring across the nations outside of Nigeria and bring attention to the various causes and imbalances structurally in Nigeria in a way that is more powerful than any conversation, more powerful than any amount of money or any, one single one-off movement could ever be. So I'd like to draw attention to the power that we as Nigerians hold when it comes to the future of our country. Um, this farmer herder conflict has been going on since my father used to tell me about similar things, as I was growing up. There have been tens of thousands of lives lost in similar conflicts relating to terrorists, relating to outsiders, relating to tribal and cultural divisions. And at the core of all these things, this problem and similar ones, is government inaction, is corruption, right? If we look at the constitutional documents of Nigeria, there are plenty of things that give us as Nigerians the ability to have power over how we are governed. Yet in our faces, yet in front of us, we continuously see the government officials rape us and destroy and take the money that is supposed to be used to build us as a people. And instead of focusing on that, because of our fear, because of those that be, the powers that be, they want us to be, arguing amongst ourselves. I like what the gentleman before me said. I will not say the Fulanese, because anyone who is an enemy to Nigeria is not of one tribe, they are not of one group, they are an enemy to our progress. So I just call them enemies. It is utter and complete distraction to do anything else. Now, the youth in Nigeria are forming, they're gathering, and they have begun to become outspoken about the corruption that is our government. This is a problem that should not exist had the government used the resources that we are giving them, they're taking from us, the resources that rightly belong to the people of Nigeria, our oil, our trade power, all of it, the power of the naira, which has fallen over 75% in the 20 years since I've been born, which is unheard of for any currency. All right. These are things that are being robbed of us. And it is not only robbing us of our livelihood, but our very lives. I think that each and every single one of us deserves and has the duty to be more outraged about the direction that our leadership is going. Uh, our government, we should not be asking our government to invest in in our farmland, or to invest in our herders, or to allow for free trade, so that we can have an economic balance when it comes to these things, so that there are less people that are turning to 419 or robbery or banditry. We should not have to ask them to do that. That is their job. In the United States, one of the things that we hold above everything else is local autonomy, which the government's only purpose is to support. The government does not come in and police for us. We each have our own police forces in cities, states, provinces that work together to deal with problems as they need to be dealt with. Why is this not established in Nigeria? Why is the power so centralized? These are things that we must consider as a people. These are things that, honestly, the time to consider is over. We need to shout it from the rooftops. Now, as someone who is only in Nigeria for part time of the year, I do not see these on a day-to-day basis. I cannot say that I fully understand what it is like to have grown up and been entrapped in for years this sort of system. But what I do see is a lot of inconsistency. And I think that we as a people need to stand up in all cases. We're talking about this one issue, which is important, but is a symptom of, again, a larger issue of corruption and greed that we must address if we want anything to change. At the core of it, there's no one small solution. We can tell the states to let more people have land. That's not going to fix this problem. It will simply morph into something else. Because there's something above and greater and more evil than anything that we are seeing in this one issue. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Great idea. Can you hear me now? Great. Your mic has been
Yeah, just yeah,
disturbing.
yeah, just give me some few minutes, like 5 minutes. I'll speak. Yeah, if you
Okay,
can hear
okay,
me,
okay.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear. I can
Okay.
hear. I can hear you now. I can hear you. I was not hearing you before. So let's have Jama. Jama, are you there? Please go ahead. You're there. Go ahead and speak.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, Mazi. Good evening, everyone. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, perfect. So I requested for Mike when someone spoke and kept insisting that how can you be asking the government to give land to criminals or to give forest to people carrying AK-47? I don't know if it is a problem of selective hearing or it is our bias that comes in whenever it comes to discussing this issue of herdsmen and how to resolve this issue once and for all. I think it is very disingenuous after several people have made attempts to explain that we have a big security issue on our hands. We have people who want to legitimately do their business of herding their cattle. And then we have people who are using the covering of that set of people to commit crimes. And the challenge has always been, how do we isolate the criminals from the people who are legitimately doing their business without causing any issue, without committing any crime? And what we've all seen, or rather, what we've explored, is the issue of creating the reserves. And obviously, it's not like government are being told to give land to to individuals or criminals, but rather a land that is under the government's control, assigned to certain people or certain kind of business, who is outside and has been reserved for that particular purpose. Hello?
Yeah, yeah. You are cutting off. I thought it was from
Sorry,
my end. Go ahead.
sorry.
Go
Yes,
ahead now.
yes. Sorry about that. A call came in. So this ensures that we are able to isolate the criminals among them. So when you have, for example, in any particular state that this is a known place or reserved for herders, and then you see someone moving his cattle, his cow from from one place to another, you can easily report this that we have people that are criminals moving cattle from one place to another, and those people can easily be arrested. So I don't really know why this is a big issue or why it is still being seen as a form of a land grabbing or what have you. If there is a fear of land grabbing, let's modify that document to ensure that the land never fully goes back to these people. It would always be under the state government's control. It's better we at some point address this issue than to always have a particular tribe being victimized for all the crimes that happen whenever it comes to killing. I think it's just tiring. I'm tired. For me, someone from the South, I'm tired of all the time Fulani herdsmen this, Fulani herdsmen that. At some point, you can't even differentiate if it's a Fulani herdsman that is doing or whatever. It's tiring. I don't know if the rest of you are not, but I'm tired. If there is a solution that helps to isolate the criminals from the good guys, then of course I think we should all welcome this and see how this can help, sort out the issue. With regards to using the state policing, like someone spoke earlier, I have always maintained that I'm someone that is totally against the state policing. Until we are able to read from a news that a state governor was attacked by armed robbers and the security assigned to him failed him because they were under the control of the federal government and the governor was killed or he was kidnapped, then I would know that we have an issue. But as long as those guys have the maximum security for themselves, for their relatives, for their cronies, they can always use that same security architecture that is there. It is just a matter of willingness, or they don't have that political will to go the extra mile to secure lives and properties of the people they've been constitutionally sworn to protect. So the issue of state policing, that's another long topic that will have to first be debated, passed across the houses, then before we will now talk about how to. But right now, we have a burning issue on our hands. Maybe tomorrow or next tomorrow, we are going to hear another report. A suspected herdsmen killed 30 in one state. And then we say, no, this issue must be stopped. This issue must be stopped. What is the proposal? What can we do this? What can we do about this? For me, the viable solution that I see right now is this creating these reserves. Let's have where you are dedicated. This is the place that you are supposed to be. You cannot go beyond this. Once you go beyond this, you can easily be tagged that these are the criminal elements among them until you can prove otherwise. I think this is my little submission, and thank you, Omo Naija, for the clarification. I came in when you joined the space, and I really think at some point we have to see that this country is ours, and we have to collectively work together and see how we can both, survive. Because if we keep fighting each other, the politicians would see us as unserious people who are not really ready to do what needs to be done. But at some point, we have to unite and say we are first humans. Fulani are not all criminals. Same way every other tribe in Nigeria, they are not all criminals. We have the bad eggs among every tribe. So what matters is find a way to isolate the criminals so that we can collectively deal with those criminals. I think this is just my little submission, Mazi. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Jamal. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you, great.
Okay. Unfortunately, it seems metaphor has left. I want him to make a better clarification on that his proposal that he said is being sent to government. So when a head header move from one state to another, they have to report to the police. Will that be applicable to every other business owners? When a public bus transportation move from Lagos to Ogun State, they have to also report to the police. When Mazimov is good from Lagos to Anambra State or to Imo State, will he also have to report to the police? Or this is just creating a completely different law for the farmers, for the herders, that does not apply to every other person? Is that not stereotyping and targeting? Are we not creating a completely new type of problem?
I was listening to him on other space the other day. I was thinking, this law, is it going to be for one person, one people, one set of group of people, or is it going to be for or Nigerians, right? A lot of people are moving from state to state. Do you know? Do you know
Funny.
the amount of people moving from state to state a day, going from one state to the other, going to do their
Oh
business?
God.
So if I should move, great, I can hear you. So if I should move from this state now to Lagos, I
Yeah.
should go and report to the police. Is that what they are proposing?
Yeah, that's exactly what he's saying. That's exactly what he's saying. It makes absolutely no sense to me. But it is what it is. He left
Maybe
already.
not the way that they do it
Let the
for
next
you.
person
Maybe not the way
speak.
that they do it for US. Great. Not the way.
No, no. Excuse me, man. Okay, listen. Just listen. When you move from one state to another state, does the police stop you to clarify what business you're doing? Yeah. So do they like stop you as an individual and say, "Oh, you cannot do your business in this state unless you come tell the police that you are now in this state"?
No, you ain't got to tell the police. They'll stop you because they see like a different license plate.
Thank you. Did you hear that, Mazi? Did you hear? It should continue. Just let the next speaker speak, please.
Oh my God, let's have Ikenga. Ikenga, please go ahead. Ikenga, are you there?
Please, guys, I would have loved to say something. My baby is
Go ahead, I called you now. Go
Mazi,
ahead, go ahead.
please.
yeah, he just
Mazi,
woke
please.
up. I don't
Sorry,
think I
just
want to be
10
interrupted
seconds.
while speaking. Just give me some minutes. I'll be right back, please.
Okay. I'm alright. I said you need 1 second. Yeah, go
Mazi,
ahead.
I mean, just 10 seconds. Yeah, on this issue of reporting to police or not reporting to police.
I'm alright, yeah. Am I the only one?
Sorry, I don't know what muted my mic. I don't know what muted my mic. So I don't subscribe to police specifically, right? But I like the idea of a state knowing who is in its state at any given time, not restricted to any occupation. But you get what I'm saying.
Okay.
Niger, before the next speaker will speak, you see, when if you execute the NLTP plan or the Ruga plan, and you have a registered company or registered business, automatically you're putting every person that is a header into a register that is more like you're registering your business. When you guys oppose to what gives them the opportunity to register themselves, now you want them to go register on their own somehow, anyhow. When majority of you have personal businesses that you're not even registered with CAC, the people
Great.
running on the
I
street
get
of
it,
Lagos.
right? And that's why I said, like, my own, this thing is not really limited to headers or anything. I just feel like states should be able to have a
Do it for
comprehensive
everybody.
knowledge, yeah, of who is coming in and out
I,
at any
I
given
agree
time, so
with
they
you.
can plan,
I agree with you.
right?
I agree with you. But you see, this like doing this plan for the elders will allow them to be registered. It allows the people to even know that this is already a registered company or a registered private business. But if you're not doing it in the first place, then you now want them to specifically go to the police and the police to stop them and identify themselves. But now we should think this thing before we start making some crazy laws for people that does not even align with fundamental human rights. Mazi, please call the next person, please.
Let's have Don Brino. Don Brino, if you are there, please go. Don Brino, please go ahead. Yeah.
Good.
Don, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Please go ahead.
I hope, I hope you can hear me.
No, are you using a headphone?
No, I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
All right. Good evening and thank you for having me. First, I want to speak from the perspective of someone who is from the South, who has spent the better part of his life in the North. This issue is Hydra head, and until we are ready to face the core problem beyond dealing with symptoms, we will be running around with circles. Now, here are my proposed solutions. Try and make this as brief as I can. Grazing is a form of animal husband, among many others. And our society today have evolved to become what does not have space and room for grazing, open grazing, I think like that. So we will have to, as a matter of necessity, make that the present reality. against all odds. If we check the world over, countries that are better than Nigeria in terms of animal husbandry that are still doing open grazing as a means of doing this completely. I doubt if there is any. And we cannot be stuck to the ways of yesterday that we have seen to be unproductive. As at today, good number of those we call bandits or whatever we call them that are the problem. Where sometimes taking their whole source of life, which is animals, from them, and they have resorted to criminality. And if we continue on this trajectory, more persons will lose their entire investments on this path, more lives will be lost, and it is a spiral downwards. So, like I said earlier, my solutions are in a way put together. One, open grazing is a no. Two, we will look at our laws and review where necessary whatever support state or local can give to animal husbandry in that environment that suit the environment. There is no one size fits all that will work. What may work in Kano may not have acceptance in Abia. So why try one solution for all? If you don't want it in your state, it should not be in your state. The land is owned by the state. So the state has a lot of weight in deciding what is done and where it is done in every given state. So if me from Delta State, I don't have Deltans who are doing this, and as a government, we think it is not what we want to see in our state, like we have done by enacting a law, anti-grazing law, it should be adhered to by everyone. If cattle are to be brought to Delta State, they should be conveyed in a vehicle. And if you want to acquire a space for the purpose of your business, there is no problem if you get all the required accreditations you need to do that in your space. And we can go further by going into deeper research what we can do and how we can do it to feed the cattle within a given space. Saudi Arabia, that is desert space, is a producer of large quantity of dairy. How are they doing it? Is it impossible to do here? If Kano is dry, it's not drier than Saudi Arabia. So we have to borrow leave from these persons from Qatar and Co. and see how animals don't roam our streets to the point of damaging someone else's crop that lead to poisoning, that lead to killing, that lead to land quarrels that have sown this animosity between tribes and people in our various states and localities. So, in brevity, one problem that needs to be solved is open grazing is a no. And that in itself solves a question of the incursion of foreign herders. If no cattle walk the street anywhere, the herder that wants to bring the cattle to Nigeria in any way have to put them in a vehicle and get the necessary pass to pass them to a particular place. So when someone from Ringim is heading cattle and going his way, and someone from Duse Alaji said no. I mean, the thing is, how do you differentiate someone who's a foreigner from someone who is from this neighborhood if everyone is roaming with cattle? What is the difference between the Fulani and the one you are calling Bororo? Said those ones are very, very mean. That's why these ones are running. But if there is no space for open grazing and running around, as we see, it will go a long way in solving this. And as for the criminality we see that is tied to headers, they are not around, or there is no probability of having them around in that manner and to that extent where they do things that are not right. So they set the ball in motion, and land is owned by people. And if the people that own the land and this further made our economic lives a hell. Thank you for
They have more meat in that country than us, and they have less. I mean, see, we can keep over flogging this matter, Mazi. We can keep pushing. You see, the problem with Nigeria, I've always maintained, that it's all these laws. We get too many laws for Nigeria, but who won't implement these laws? Who won't they obey them? We get EFCC, we get this one, we get that one, we get that one. We just get plenty laws. Yet now, so would hear say millions disappear, billions disappear, snake turn this thing, cockroach swallow money. In this same work, not Nigeria. Okay, nobody is saying people should not move about. Nobody is saying people should not invest or do businesses. But I'm still maintaining, Mazi, if houses today, if others from the north refuse to, Mazi, Nigeria will go into big problem. Big, huge problem when it comes to food. Now them get land pass, and then get, that means it is possible to fix these things up in the north. 100% possible to fix this issue of grazing up in the north. Why did no one stay there? Why? Because look, I was telling a brother this morning who was chatting with me and this and that one. I said, me, I know everybody could say I be bigot, and I accept 100% when it comes to Yoruba land. After I never get my mouth where anybody want rape. I not get grandma where they want rape, I not even born woman. I asked him, I said, if it's your sister that have been raped by these people, will you be saying what you're telling me today? What has a 3-year-old got to do with being macheted to death? Because of cow. This is abnormal. In 2025, Mazi, in 2025, we are seeing What led to most of the insecurity up in Southeast? What led to all these things? Come to Yoruba land. Come raw. And the solution is that stay their lands there. Look, my brother, if you want to cut close to me, I go see the example where you do your body now.